In this video, we'll build a simple microservices example using NestJS. The focus of this video will be the backend, so the React app that will consume these backends will be pre-built, and I will provide the repository in the description of this video. This will also be a video series where you will learn something new about microservices. So in this example, you will learn how to send internal HTTP requests from one microservice to another. So let's start building the app now. So let's start by creating the frontend. It is pre-built since the focus of this project is on the backend. So I'll copy the URL here and open the terminal and run git clone this project. Now that I clone the project, make sure to have npm installed, and we will go to the post microservices frontend, run npm install, and after it's installed, run npm start, and the frontend is built. So node modules are installed. Now run npm start, and this will create the project on port 3000. So right now the frontend is failing because it doesn't find this API endpoint, which we will build it now. So go to nestjs.com and make sure to install the nestjs CLI. So I installed it and run nest new. I will create two backends now. One is called posts. I'll add the flag skip git here because it will color the files when we change them. And I will select npm here. Let's wait till it's completed. So it is completed. I'll create also another project, comments. And let's wait till this is completed as well, and I will open them with my IDE. So it is created as well, and I opened both projects with my IDE. So this is a post project and this is a comments project. So currently they are the same. So let's make some changes for both of them. So the changes that I will make is I will remove app controller and app service. We don't need them. Also, I will remove them from the comments project. And if we go to app module, let's remove also this. So I will keep everything as minimal as possible. So I removed the controller and the service. Also in ESLint.js, I will remove the this extends part here because I'm using different styles than NestJS. But if you're using the same styles, you can keep them. So this is just personal preference. So I will remove it here also. And that's it for the moment. Let's go to main.ts, and here we listen to port 3000, but this is the port of our frontend. And also we need to change the post project to listen to port 8000. So this should be 8000 here. In the comments project, it should be another port. I'll put 8001. Also, we need to set a global prefix. So app set global prefix API, and we need to enable course. So what is course for those that don't know it? Chrome will prevent the request. So if we send this request with a different port and localhost is port 3000, course will prevent that, and we need to enable it here. Otherwise the APIs that we will build, the frontend won't get them. So let's add here the origin, and the origin for the frontend is HTTP localhost 3000. So here we add the front end, and we say that allow requests from this front end and don't prevent it. So if you don't add this, you will see that you will have problems getting the data from the API. So that's it. I will add the same things to the comments, and these are the common things. Now let's add what is different. So let's first connect to the database. So I will open the database tool in my IDE. You can use MySQL Workbench if you are not using PHP Storm in my case. And my local database has the user root, and the password is root, and the database for this project will be posts ms. So this is an empty database. We can see we don't have anything here. And let's do the same for the comments. Let's connect here with the comments database, which is also an empty database. Comments ms. So you can name the databases as you want. And now that I created them, let's connect with them using type-ORM. So if we go to documentation here, go to database, and it's techniques database. We need to install these packages. Also, we can see we have also MySQL here in the command to install it. So I'll open the terminal and install type-ORM and MySQL for both projects. Now that are installed, let's copy this code, and this is the code to connect with the database, and we need to add it to our app module.ts. In the imports here, I will paste this. I will import the type-ORM module from NestJS type-ORM, and let's change the configuration here. The username is root, is correct, and in my case the password is this. The database in this project is posts ms, and the entities, for the moment we don't have any, but I will add here autoload entities, so true. So don't use this on production, but for the moment, for this project, this is okay. I will copy this and add it to the comments as well. And the difference here is the database is comments ms. So with this we successfully connected to the database, and what is left is to add the model, the entities and the tables. So I will create now the posts module, controller, service and entity. So I will use the nest CLI. So nest G is short for generate, so I will just use G, generate module posts, and this will create the posts module in a folder here, and also it will update our app module, so we add the post module here. So we have the module. Now run nest generate controller posts, nest generate service posts, and for the post entity I will create it directly here. So I will remove the spec files. We won't use tests in this project, and I will create a TypeScript file here, posts entity. So let's start with the post entity. So export class post. So to make this class also table in the database, we have to add here entity decorator, and we need to import the entity from type ORM. Also, we need to add the columns, so we need the ID as a number, and we need to add also the decorator for this ID, primary generated column. So now NestJS will know that this is also a primary key, and it will be also auto increment. Let's add the other fields, which is a title as a string, and this will be just a column. And we need also the description. So this is a post, is very simple, and to add this post to the database, we need first to go to post module. We need to add imports here, and inside we will add type ORM module for feature empty array, and inside we'll add the posts that we just created. So if we add it like this, it will create a table. So let's run npm run start dev. Let's run this command, and if it compiles, it will also create the table. So we have a problem. So if you encounter this problem like I do, the problem is that we need to go to our package.json, and we need to change the type ORM version here. So this is version 8, so I will change it to version 7.1.5. Not sure why we got this problem there. And now I will just run npm install. I will do it the same for the comments project. And run here npm install. So now it is installed in the post project. If we run npm run start dev, everything will work correctly. And if we open the database, the post microservices refresh, we will have a post table. So this is the database with the post table in this microservice. Let's go to the comments. Let's add the table here also. So let's run the commands nest generate module comments, nest generate controller comments, nest generate service comments, and we will create the, so let's remove this, and I will create directly the TypeScript file comments.entity. So here I will add export class comment. This is an entity, and the fields for the comment will be, the ID will be the same as a number here, and this will be a primary generated column. We need the post ID here as a number, which is just a column. We cannot add a foreign key here because this is another database in another project. So this is just a column, and the text, which is a string, also a column here. So this is the entity. Let's go to the module. Let's add here an imports empty array type ORM module forfeiture the comments inside the comment, sorry. So it is not imported, so let's manually import it. So import comment from comments entity and run npm run start dev here. And let's open also the database. And we can see the comment table here. It was just created. So we got 2 projects, 2 different databases, and now let's add the endpoints. So for the post controller, we have the post prefix here, which is correct. So this will be API, which is a global prefix / post. So it will match this endpoint here, and we will add here a function, an asynchronous function, all, and here we will return all the posts, and this will be a get request. Before we add other changes here, let's go to our post service and let's add the constructor here. And inside the constructor, we will add this inject repository post. Let's import it from our entity. Private read-only post repository is a type of repository post. So with in this way we will inject we will map our post entity with our post table in the database. And we can add some simple commands, and the first one will be find, and this will return a promise. So for the moment I will not return anything, so let's return this post repository find like this. And the type now is a promise that returns a post array like this. So it's pretty simple, and I will create also another one. Create here, and this will have options or data, doesn't matter. This will return this post repository, save, and I'll pass the data here. And this will return also a promise, but not an array this time. It will return a promise of just post here. And that is a service that we need. So let's go to our controller and inject that service here. So let's add the constructor, private post service, post service. And now we have the post service here. Let's use it here. So in the get request here, we will return this post service find, and this will return all the posts. So let's save this and let's see it on the browser now. Let's refresh, and this is the interface. We see 0 here because we don't have any posts yet. We have to create a post. So to create the post, we need to add another endpoint, which is a post request. So let's create async create here, and this is a post request. So in this function, we need to add the parameters that we need to send, which is just the title and the description. We can add them directly like this. So body title is a title of type string, and the description as well, like this. So these are the two parameters that we will send, the title and the description, and to create the post we will simply return this post service create, and we need to send an object now that contains the title and the description. I will return it like this. So this is a new object title with the title as this title and the description as the description, but I will use it like this directly: title, description, and that should be it. So with this we will successfully create a post. Let's try it. Post number 1, description number 1. Save, and we successfully created a post here. If we refresh, we will get the post here because it is saved in the database. So that is working fine. Now we have an input here to create comments. So let's do it in the other microservice. Let's add here in the comment service first. Let's add the repository. So I will copy everything from the post service here, and I will paste it here. I will import this. Now instead of post we will use a comment here. Let's import the repository, and this is the comment, like this, comment repository. So we created the comment service here. Let's go to the comment controller. Let's inject here in the constructor private comment service, and for the moment let's add just the create function, which will be a post request, and we will have the post ID here. So in the body we'll have the post ID as a number, and the text as a string. So when we write a comment, the text will be this text, and the post ID will be the post that we will write that comment, and this will simply return this comment service create, and inside we'll put the post ID and the text. So super simple. Also this we can create this comment number 1 here. This fails because I know the reason why it fails. I will I will make changes to the repository so it doesn't fail. It's not a problem of our backend, is because the post entity here needs also comments, but I will explain it now why it needs that comments there. So if we refresh, we created a comment. If we check the database, we have the comment created here. But now we encounter our first problem. So if we refresh the page, we don't see any comments. So when we retrieve our posts, we want to get also the comments here in this get request. But the comments are in a different microservice. So how do we get them from this microservice to from another microservice? So we will do it via internal HTTP requests. So the first thing that I will do is I will add another endpoint here, and this will be the, how do I call it, post comments. And this will have another endpoint, so we don't need the prefix comments here. So I will cut this and I will paste it here. And this post comments, the endpoint will be a get request posts slash the ID of the post slash comments. So this will be the endpoint. We will get the comments from this post ID. So here we will get the ID, which is a param ID. We'll get the ID as a number. So we get the post ID here, and now we want to get all the comments based on that post ID. So currently this function does not have conditions, but we can add here options, which is a type of find many options. We need to import it from type ORM, and we need to pass the options here. So let's go to the comments controller now. Let's return this comment service find, and we need to pass the options here, which it will be an object. I will add inside where, and the condition is where post ID is equal to this ID. So this is the syntax to get all the comments from a post ID. And we completed the comment microservice, and now let's get the comments in the post microservice. And to do it is via internal HTTP requests. And first let's go to the post module, and we will add here the HTTP module. So NestJS has already a module for it. So we have that module there, and we can add it in the constructor here. So private HTTP service, HTTP service. So we get the HTTP service now, and what do we do now? So first I will get the posts like this. So we get the post like this, but we need to get the variable. So this will be await post service find, and we will return the post. So here I didn't do anything. I just got the post as a variable, and now we will loop the post. So for let I is equal to 0, I is less than post length, I plus plus. So I'm looping the posts now, and what I will do right now is for every post we will send another HTTP request to the comments to get the comments there. So I will get the post, which is equal to posts with this index, and we will send a request. So the way that we need to send the request now is this HTTP service get HTTP localhost port 8001 /API /posts. We need the post ID, so I will change this URL to backticks here. So I can add here the post ID like this, /comments. And there are two ways to get the response. The most common way is to use subscribe here and to get the response. But this cannot work in this way because we will return the post and then the request will finish. So we need to await this, and to await this we need to convert it to promise, and we will get a response is equal to await this. So this is the request. We will send a GET request to this endpoint, we'll convert it to promise, and we will await. We will get the response, and now we need to add to our so let me go with the mouse. Now in this post array we need to add the comments that we found in this response. So the way to do it is post with the index is equal to everything that we had with the post, and we will add the comments, which is a response.data. We'll have an error now because our comments are not present here in the entity, so I will add comments here, any array. If I add this, it won't add it to the database because it needs a column, and it is correct. So that's it. If we go to our React app, let's refresh, we will see that we will get our comment, and the response is retrieved from this request. We don't send any request to from the frontend to this microservice, but we send a request to this microservice, and this microservice sends another request to the comments microservice. So we can create another post now. And we can create another comment. We still got that error. Probably the reason is that we need to initialize. So let me go to post entity. I will change this to this. And maybe that way it works. So we can add more comments here. And that's it. So this is the project. And this is how we send internal HTTP requests from one microservice to another. But one thing, this is not the recommended way to get data from one microservice to another, because how about we have 1000 posts? This means that we will send 1000 requests. So this is not very practical, and this is actually I will advise against this way. So this will be also a video series. So in the next tutorial we will find the best way to retrieve the comments, and using different ways, not by sending HTTP requests. So thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you.